My artist, no, there, is George Valentine. So, he was a dancer, choreographer, director, and actor, so he didn't just focus on dancing. And he was born in St. Petersburg, Russia. And so how he started ballet was at the age of 9 in 1913. And he started it by going to an audition with his sister for the Imperial Ballet School because his mom forced him to. And he had no interest in ballet at all, or like barely music, but it was kind of in his family because that's what his dad did for a profession. So he ended up getting into the school and passing the audition with his sister. So then they went to the Imperial Ballet School, and it's a picture of the place he performed. So his style and technique. So a lot of people that have seen him perform and have worked with him call his style a neoclassical style, like in the 20th century. And his main focus was balance and speed. So a lot of his movements were very modern and abstract, kind of like the side shapes. And so his movements weren't just like traditional ballet, which is very like, you can see what's happening next and things are very like soft and gentle. Instead, he wanted a more free upper body movements in like in modern dance, so he wasn't afraid to do that and like take that risk. And that is an example, like the arms are more open and they're not soft first, second positions. And all the shapes are very angular, like this. The arms are more open. So his goals in choreography were expressed music with dance. So he really emphasized the connection with them, where most choreographers you would think would just focus on the actual dance part of it, where because he worked with a lot of musicians and composers of music, he put an extra emphasis on that. So he was the architect of abstract ballet, and music, bodies, and movement were the main focus for all of his work. And he extended traditional ballet movements. And you can see that where a lot is going on in the picture, but you can still see like all of the angles and movements and very open bodies, nothing's composed in. So he took risks by modifying and extending traditional ballet movements. And it was not just like traditional repetition after repetition in the whole entire like choreography, like because it's traditional ballet is kind of very mechanical looking, where he wanted things to still look elegant and soft like ballet because his training started with ballet, but he wanted to take his own risk and direction like away from what he was taught when he was a child, and wanted more open, free, relaxed movements. And he didn't like preconceived movement patterns. He was very against it. And he did that also while he was teaching. He never would, like when he would start teaching in class, he never planned the choreography beforehand. He always came up with it on the spot with the help of his students. Okay, so he, when teaching and like when performing and showing his works to an audience, he wanted the dancers and the public to like look at dance in a different way and feel a connection with it, not just see it, but okay, yeah, they're dancing. They wanted like an actual connection and be able to tell a story with it. That's like a picture. Okay. You can see like a lot is going on in the back with like individual dancers, but there's also a lot of partnering going on around it. So his movements were very open, with wide arms and stretching, like a lot of open arms, which is like in modern a lot. and a strong technique with petit allegro combinations, which is a lot of small, fast combinations he did, like jumps, leaps, anything small and fast. This is a picture of one of his male dancers. So you can see the arms are very open. It's like doing splits. I wish I could do that. And one's pointed and one's flexed, and his arms are very open, where in ballet you want to more keep like your abs in, where he's not afraid to like have his chest be open and wide. And so he did a lot of works and was very popular when he later in his career, because a lot of people didn't want ballet to change at all. So he took a big risk by standing out and changing ballet, which his teachers did not like in the beginning, but he was not afraid to. So he eventually, when he came to America after being in Russia, he created the American Ballet School in his own school. And this is a picture of him teaching. And then he also has his own foundation, the George Balanchine Foundation, and it's kind of like a school, and they teach ballet. And this is a picture of him working with his students, which are girls is very popular. Ladies get like 3 wives that were all dancers, and they all didn't work out, which is kind of sad. Well, one of them did, but then he died, so that didn't get to last. But yeah, he was just he wasn't afraid to take risks, which is why I feel he really influenced the dance world. And so he wasn't afraid to take risks, so that's why he really influenced dance world and ballet, and that's how you'll see in my emulation later. I don't just work on traditional ballet movements. I also put jazz and modern into it, because that's what I do. So he influenced me somewhat, and the emulation in the beginning is part of what he did, but also my own movements. A lot of his popular ballet, most popular, well-known ones, is Firebird. Actually was performed a few months ago. Some people saw it. I don't know. That's how I have to do. Yeah. And then also the Nutcracker. He did his own form, the Waltz of the Flower, which is the beginning of my emulation. That's what I did, a part of what he did. Midsummer's Night's Dream. Jules, which is a lot of partnering. He likes partnering a lot. It's very hard to do solos, because I couldn't do that for my emulation. And then also Diamonds. So in his costumes, he likes to have the name of the choreography and the costumes really match a lot. Because in the costumes, he put a lot of jewels in the fur fiber. It was very pretty tutus, and things look like you're flying in the air and stuff like that. And then, can I explain my website?
Sure.
Okay. So, on the New York City Ballet website, if you guys want more information, you can, because it has a lot of his background information, and then how he was the New York City Ballet main choreographer for a long time. So he created over 360 different choreographies. And then it explains his foundation and his style.